Well, here we are. After 9 modules of digging into the details, piece by piece, we finally made it to the grand finale. This is where we put everything together. We're talking about the master blueprint for your AI data center, the complete, cohesive system that brings all that knowledge to life. Let's do this.
Okay, before we get to the good stuff, we've got to cover the important legal bit one last time. So, this is Module 10 of our 10-part tutorial, and it's all based on a really comprehensive report from Virtualization Options LLC. Now, think of this as general guidance, all right? It's not a substitute for professional legal or financial advice. You absolutely need to chat with your own financial, technical, and legal pros before making any big moves. And just a reminder what we're covering here, it's really just a taste of what's in the full research report. So, what's on the docket for today? We're starting with the big picture, kind of zooming out to see how everything connects. Then we'll dive deep into monitoring your foundation, super important. After that, we'll talk strategy, how to make the right choices. Then, the main event, the architectural blueprint. And we'll wrap up by gazing into our crystal ball and looking at the future. Sounds good? Let's get to it. All right, let's dive right in. Over the last 9 modules, we've talked about a ton of individual open source tools, right? But a pile of tools isn't a system. Now it's time to see how they all lock together, how they form one cohesive, powerful, production-ready machine. Honestly, this is where the real magic happens. And this quote right here, it's really the core philosophy of this whole thing. It's so tempting to just chase after the latest and greatest, the shiniest new tool on the block. But success isn't about that. It's about being strategic. You have to match the tools to where your organization is right now. You got to walk before you can run. Build that solid foundation first, nail the fundamentals, and then you can start building up to those really sophisticated MLOps platforms. It's all about building smart. Okay, so let's talk about that foundation. You wouldn't build a skyscraper on sand, would you? The same thing goes for your AI platform. You can have the most brilliant models in the world, but if the infrastructure underneath is shaky, the whole thing comes crashing down. That's why we have to start here, with rock-solid monitoring of everything, the physical hardware and the virtual layers on top. And that brings us to this question, which is, well, it's kind of the million-dollar question, isn't it? Your AI model might be brilliant, an absolute genius, but is the house it lives in healthy? Because if your hardware is sputtering, if your network is clogged, your results are going to suffer. We're talking about slowdowns, crashes, frustrating bottlenecks, the whole mess. It all comes back to the health of the underlying infrastructure. So where do we start? First up, compute. Think of this as the raw brain power of your system. You've got to be watching things like CPU utilization, load average, all that good stuff. The goal is simple. Make sure the processing power is there and running efficiently whenever you need it. Next on the health checklist is memory. And let me tell you, AI workloads are thirsty. They just drink up RAM like there's no tomorrow. So keeping an eye on memory usage and swap activity, that's not just a nice to have, it's absolutely critical if you don't want your whole system to just grind to a halt during a massive training job. And number 3, storage. It's pretty simple, right? No data, no AI. But it's not just about having the data, it's about getting it fast. If your storage is slow, your expensive, powerful GPUs are just sitting there, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for data to arrive. By watching disk I/O and latency, you keep those GPUs fed and happy. Last but definitely not least, we have networking. And if compute is the brain, networking is the central nervous system, especially when you're doing distributed training across multiple machines. A single communication bottleneck, a bit of packet loss, it can absolutely cripple the whole operation. So monitoring your network health is a must. So you see, it's these 4 pillars working in harmony: compute, memory, storage, and networking. And a healthy AI data center isn't just about grabbing a bunch of numbers from these systems. The real goal is to have this cohesive architecture that takes all those raw metrics and turns them into something you can actually use. Real, actionable insights. So what does that architecture actually look like in practice? Well, it's a 4-step flow. It all starts at the collection layer, where agents like Node Exporter are on the ground gathering metrics. From there, the data flows to the storage layer, where a time series database like Prometheus stores it all super efficiently. Then we get to see it. The visualization layer, using a tool like Grafana, turns all that data into beautiful, understandable dashboards. And the final, crucial piece, the alerting layer. This is where Alert Manager is constantly watching, and it'll tap you on the shoulder the moment something looks off, long before it turns into a 5-alarm fire. Okay, so we've got our monitoring strategy down, but that's just the what. Now we need to talk about the how. I mean, which specific open source tools should you actually use? This is a huge decision, and it requires a real strategic approach. And believe it or not, one of the first things you have to think about is licensing.
Let's break this down because it's super important. On one hand, you've got permissive licenses. Think Apache 2.0 or MIT. These are basically the do-whatever-you-want licenses. They give you a ton of flexibility, which is great for commercial use. On the other hand, you have copyleft licenses, like the AGPL. These are more of a share-and-share-like deal. If you build something on top of it and offer it as a service, you often have to share your own source code too. You can see how this is a massive fork in the road with huge business implications. And here's how that plays out with tools you probably know. Look at this. All these foundational platforms like MLflow, Kubeflow, Prometheus, they're all under that permissive Apache 2.0 license. That's by design. It encourages adoption. But then you look at tools like Grafana or Loki, and you see their AGPL. It's a different philosophy. Really taking a moment to understand this chart can save you from some serious legal and business headaches later on. So, what's the takeaway? You need a system. You need a framework for picking your tools. It's so much more than just a feature comparison. You've got to run through this checklist every single time. 1, does it actually solve my problem? The technical fit. 2, is this thing ready for prime time? The operational maturity. 3, if I get stuck, is anyone out there to help? That's community and support. 4, we just talked about this. Is the licensing going to cause problems for my business? And 5, does it play nicely with all the other tools in my sandbox? Ecosystem integration. I promise you, asking these 5 questions up front will save you a world of pain. Okay, deep breath. This is it. This is the moment we've been building towards through this entire series. We've talked monitoring, we've talked strategy. Now, let's assemble the whole thing. Let's look at the complete architectural blueprint for a real production-grade ML platform. A really robust platform is built in layers, like a cake. At the very bottom, you have your infrastructure layer. This is your foundation, with Kubernetes acting as the master conductor. On top of that, you build your storage and data layer, S3-compatible storage for the raw stuff, DVC to keep your data versioned and sane. Then you get to the fun part, the training layer, where tools like Kubeflow and Ray do the heavy lifting. Once you have a model, it moves to the serving layer, where something like Kserve puts it to work. And watching over the entire stack from top to bottom is that crucial observability layer, with Prometheus and Grafana giving you eyes on everything. But here's the thing. A blueprint isn't just a list of parts. A well-architected platform is like a well-built house. It doesn't just have walls and a roof. It has a solid foundation, good plumbing, and strong locks on the doors. You have to build in the operational and security best practices right from the ground up. They can't be an afterthought. So what does that look like on the operational side? It boils down to 4 non-negotiables. First, infrastructure as code. Everything, and I mean everything, gets defined in a repository. Second, automate your testing. Let the machines do the boring, repetitive work. Third, have a plan. When an alert fires at 3 a.m., everyone needs to know exactly what to do. And fourth, please document everything. This is the discipline that separates the prototypes from the truly professional, production-ready systems. And what about the security side of things? The principles are just as crucial. 1, use strict access controls. Only give people the keys they absolutely need. 2, encrypt your data everywhere. Whether it's sitting on a disk or flying across the network, lock it down. 3, build walls. Use network policies to keep your different workloads isolated from each other. And 4, guard the front door. Your model endpoints need to be rock solid, validating every single input. These are not nice-to-haves, folks. They are absolute table stakes for running a secure system. So there you have it. That's the blueprint for a top-tier AI data center today. But let's be real, this field moves at the speed of light. What's cutting edge today is standard practice tomorrow. So to wrap this all up, let's take a quick peek over the horizon at the trends that are going to define the next generation of AI infrastructure. You're going to want to keep these 5 trends on your radar. First, open telemetry is a huge deal. It's a move toward a universal standard for collecting data, which means less vendor lock-in and more interoperability for everyone. Second, ML observability is going to get way more sophisticated. Think automated drift detection that can trigger retraining all on its own. Third, we'll see more serverless ML. The less time we spend managing servers, the more time we spend building cool stuff. Fourth, the rise of edge ML, pushing models out of the data center and closer to the action. And finally, sustainability. We're going to see a much bigger emphasis on building systems that are not just powerful, but also energy efficient. That's a big one. And with that, our 10-module journey together comes to a close. We started with the basic building blocks, and now, here we are, with a complete blueprint for a production-grade AI platform. The amazing open-source community has given us all the tools we need. The blueprint is right here in your hands.
So now there's really only one question left. What are you going to build?